Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Last video, we explored the Great Spook, and go watch that if you want more information. However, I thought it would be pretty useful to make a guide about it, so here it is. Also, as always, this video took a ton of time, so I would greatly appreciate a sub. Along with that, I have a new sub goal for you guys. At 1000 subscribers, I'm gonna get a golden dragon pet and max it out. But how hard could it be? I'm a bit broke right now, forget the 800 mil. But I probably won't be able to buy one right now, so let's save it for later. Please? Alright, on to the video. We are going to be explaining the Scavenger Hunt along with Primal Fears and Dark Candy, starting with the Scavenger Hunt that is right behind me. This is accessed by coming over here in the hub and talking to this guy, the Taishoy Alchemist. The Alchemist will give you some dialogue. I've already completed it, which is the reason it's not giving me dialogue right now. And after that, it will open this menu. Here you'll find some tools, armors, and pets that you can get for some random items like Nightmare Nullifier and what? Since this is an ultimate guide, let's quickly explain how to get these items. For the Great Spook staff, you will need 10 frozen spiders, which are obtained by fishing in the spider's den with an ice rod and spooky bait. Frozen spider has a 10% chance to be fished up. For the Great Spook helmet, you will need a wet pumpkin. This is gotten by buying an appalled pumpkin from the builder and going in water. For the Great Spook chestplate, you will need 5 decayed bats. For this, you will need to spawn in a dark oak island. Here, bats can spawn. Kill these bats with a wither bow and icy arrows. For the Great Spook leggings, you will need 5 poison candies. The crafting recipe for this is pretty weird. You will need a simple candy, 4 enchanted poisonous potatoes, and 4 tutti frutti poisons. For the Great Spook boots, you will need 12 sweet flesh. This is gathered by grinding zombies with the sweet axe. For the Great Spook belt, you will need 2 rogue flesh. This is gotten by killing a tier 1 revenant horror at the very last second. For the Great Spook cloak, you will need 1 precious. This is gotten by giving the dirt guy an infinity dirt wand. The dirt guy is located in the dwarven mines in this location. For the Great Spook necklace, you will need obscure ending. This can be obtained by doing the goober end race with the blindness effect. For this, I recommend waypoints. And for the Great Spook gloves, things get a bit tricky. For this, you need to get a cow from the barn to Jake's house. Then, wear a cow hat on your head, which will be turned into a head of betrayal. This is quite annoying to do since several times the cow ends up dying. And if you have seen my video, you know what I mean. However, you can cheese it with the spider boots. Now for the Great Spook sword, you will need 5 dead seeds, which actually only requires dirt. First, buy the dead bush from the trades menu. And as you can see right here, it only requires dirt. Then, plant the dead bush on some dirt. Now, use some enchanted bone meal on the dead bush to get dead seeds. Now for the accessories. You will need 5 fairy wings for the talisman. These can be gathered by shearing the fairies in any dungeon fairy room. For this, you will need enchanted shears. You will also need 2 free spiders for the Great Spook ring. This is gotten by, first, using a metal detector in the mines of Devance and hope to get both the emerald and gold hammers. Then, you need to go to the anvil in the gold mines to combine them into an iron hammer. Now, go to Grandma Wolf's house and break the bars around the spiders. And finally, for the Great Spook artifact, you will need some items for the artifact. These include lettuce and onions from the builder, tasty cheese from the bazaar, or rats I guess, bread from the bread shop, I don't know bro, just make some bread. And finally, some french fries, gathered by putting a hunter knife in a potato minion. For the eerie pet, you will need 2 ephemeral gratitudes. You can get this by accepting a visitor within 1 second of it spawning in. This is done by stocking up crops in your farming sacks and waiting for the visitors. The next 2 items are upgrades for the eerie pet. Firstly, you will need the eerie treat, which turns the common eerie pet into its rare version. For this, you will need 10 sewer fish. These are gathered by fishing in the 3rd stage of Catacombs Floor 3. By the way, the 3rd stage is after you fight the professor. Next, for the eerie toy, which turns the rare eerie pet to its legendary version. For this, you will need a nightmare nullifier. Before you get this item, you will need to complete a quest, assigned by Bedknob. You can find this guy in the Dwarven Mines, right here, and all you have to do is check up on him once every Skyblock day for 3 Skyblock days. On the 3rd day, he will give you a quest to go find some treasure near the Dwarven Bridge. After you get this treasure, you can give the bros some dark coffee, and then wait another Skyblock day for his response. When he does respond, he will give you a Nightmare Nullifier, which is what you need. Now for the Great Spook Reforged Manual. For this, you will need the soup, which is obtained by giving any sort of soup to Pablo, who is located in Scarleton in the Crimson Isles. This will unlock the Boo Stone, which gives the Greater Spook Reforge. Next, you will need the Alchemist's Recipe, which costs a secret potion. This is made by combining an awkward potion with any dungeon secret item, such as a Spirit Leap. This will unlock the Great Spook Potion, which will give you some fear. And finally, you will need the Scary Grimoire. This costs a big name item, which is obtained by talking to Sirius with exactly 7,871,265 coins. This unlocks the Great Spook Enchantment, which is the final item in the shop. Okay, wow, that took a long time. However, it is now time to talk about Primal Fears. Primal Fears are the new mobs that were added with this update. They spawn after you kill a mob every 6 minutes. However, you can shorten that time depending on how much fear you have. Speaking of fear, let's talk about that right now. Now, all of these upgrades that I just talked about give some sort of fear, and the fear stat gives you some bonuses. Firstly, you take 1% less damage from Primal Fears for every fear you have. And probably even better, Primal Fears are more common depending on how much fear you have. This means if you have a high fear, you'll be able to spawn them quicker than just every 6 minutes. There are 6 types of Primal Fears. The first stage of the fight is just you hitting an NPC. The next stage, however, turns the NPC into either a math teacher, who will tell you to do a basic math problem in the chat, a public speaking demon, who will force you to talk in chat, a commitment phobia, who will tell you to sign something in the chat, a darkness shade, who will blind you, a deadline, who will force you to stand in place for 5 seconds, and the new one, called the vegan crawler, who will put you on top of a barn animal and make you walk to the food that it eats. They all give 1 dark candy. Speaking of which, let's talk about dark candy now. Dark candy is the new type of candy introduced in this update, and they can be used in several different ways. Firstly, you can obviously just sell them, and secondly, you can use them over here at the Vargol. So over here you can click on this dude, and a big zombie will climb out of his grave, and it says Vargol the Unearthed has awakened. After that, you can talk to Vargol over here, and they will give you a lot of trades with dark candy. Also, there is now a Great Spook emblem, which is obtained by spending 600 dark candy in this shop. So if you are going to get some dark candy, you should probably spend some in this shop. And that is all to the Great Spook guide. If you guys want to see even more gameplay on the Great Spook, and specifically on what I do during the Great Spook, make sure to check out my other videos about it. Also, this video took a ton of time, so I would really appreciate a subscription. And of course, as I said, at 1000 subscribers, I will get a golden dragon pet and max it out to level 200. But anyways, thank you for watching, stay tuned for even more videos coming out soon, and I will see you in the next one.